Stephanie with ACI Specialty Benefits, and today we're here with Megan Hawker, who's one of our clinical specialists, and she's also an Army veteran who has served 2 deployments. So Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit today about some of the challenges that veterans can face coming back from deployments?
Okay. Well, veterans often face a difficult transition, whether it's coming back into garrison life or if it's readjusting to being a civilian in the workplace with your family or as a student. And when you're in a combat zone, your mind and your body adjust to keep you alive. And unfortunately, a lot of those survival mechanisms don't help us out once we get back to the civilian life, and they can be a little bit challenging. So some of the more common experiences and challenges that veterans face are hypervigilance, isolation, and then dealing with nightmares or flashbacks. It's not something that's permanent, and that brings us to why we have Hank here today.
Yeah, Hank is here. Hank is Megan's dog, and how can dogs help with these issues?
Well, dogs are great as far as being companions and improving our mood overall. But when it comes to each of the specific categories that I mentioned, dogs really can be quite helpful. A lot of veterans will find that when they're in the shopping mall or supermarket or out in traffic, constantly having people around you without that security of knowing who's behind you or that it's somebody on your team behind you, it can be really overwhelming.
Okay, so we've been hearing a lot about post-traumatic stress disorder. So can you tell us a little bit about what exactly PTSD is?
PTSD is when you have those common reactions such as the hypervigilance, wanting to avoid situations that remind you of unpleasant events, frequent nightmares or flashbacks. And what it is it's a continued response of the body and the brain to a traumatic event. And when it becomes problematic and it begins to interfere with your life, your daily functioning, it's often considered a disorder. That's when individuals are encouraged to go seek help, whether it's through a mental health provider or through their general practitioner.
Can dogs help with family member support as well?
I think so. One of the downsides to coming back from a deployment is the emotional isolation, which is common when you think of all the death, destruction, and the grief. And when you're on a deployment, you don't have the time to process that stuff. And so you compartmentalize it or you hold it in. And so it can be difficult to share those experiences really with anyone once you come back from a deployment. And many family members will report that their service members or their veteran is isolated, they're distanced, they don't want to talk about their emotions, and they also have a more difficult time getting close to individuals. When other people can't get in, often the animals can. It's the nature of the dogs, and they're very accepting, they're non-judgmental, and usually they do some goofy stuff that can make you smile, like this guy right here.
Looks to be the case.
He's a very happy dog, and even when the rest of the world irritates you, a smile like that, it usually makes me smile too.
That's great. This is great information. Thank you, Megan, for being here with us. If you want to check out more of our links that relate to veterans, then you can check out the description below, and we will see you next time.